Hi everyone, this is Cecil, and in today's Yellowstone podcast, I'm going to be talking about whether you need bear spray if you're not going to be hiking in Yellowstone's backcountry. If you are going to be hiking, of course, you have to have bear spray with you. But if you're not, do you need bear spray? And I'm also going to look at where the best locations or opportunities are to buy bear spray, because as you probably know, you're not allowed to take bear spray on an airplane with you. Have a look at this picture that I've got up on my screen. And talking about screens, if you're listening to this podcast on Spotify or Google Podcasts or wherever, rather go to YouTube. You may find it more beneficial. If you go to YouTube, search for Yellowstone Tours, that'll bring up our channel, and then just search for this podcast. So if we get back to this picture over here, we see a grizzly sow, that's a female grizzly mom, with a little cub, and they're walking along on a boardwalk. Let's take a look at the next picture. Here's a grizzly sow and a cub, and they're walking on a boardwalk. It looks like they're in the forest, though, away from all sorts of activity, but let's go up a little bit. We see there's a building in the background. And now, if we go to the next picture, can you see what that building is? Do you guys recognize it? For anyone who has been to Yellowstone, that is one of the most wonderful buildings, not only in Yellowstone, but in the entire national park system. That's Old Faithful Inn. And just by the way, if you do come to Yellowstone, once you've watched Old Faithful erupt, do make a point of going inside Old Faithful Inn. For my money, it's the most stunning building in the entire national park system. And look how close those two grizzlies are to Old Faithful Inn, and Old Faithful Geyser is just up in this direction over there. Let's now take a look at this video. Can you see what I see? Do you see there's a grizzly bear over there? This is the Upper Geyser Basin, and this camera that is filming this is one of the Yellowstone webcams. This is a live streaming cam, and it was fortunate that one of the operators happened to be close to it, and they saw this grizzly bear walking along. Here's a boardwalk over there. There's a boardwalk in the background. The bear is walking towards Old Faithful, believe it or not. Also, just by the way, if you want to see that webcam, there's a number of places that you can see it. If you go to one of our tour sites, YellowstoneNationalParkTours.com, YellowstoneNationalParkTours.com, you'll find that we do have the webcam over there. And this area that the webcam is showing at the moment is not too far from where the grizzly was. Old Faithful is off to the right, and take some time, look at these webcams. This is a wonderful one. This is a streaming webcam, and it will show you what time what time Old Faithful erupts as well. So the question that we need to ask ourselves is, do you need to take bear spray with you if you're visiting Yellowstone? Let me show you something. Those of you who've watched quite a few of my Yellowstone podcasts will know that I like to get out and mountain bike ride. And I like to ride my mountain bike in an area that's just outside Yellowstone National Park. This area to the right here, you can sort of see a line here. To the right is Yellowstone. To the left is the town of West Yellowstone, and that's where our motel and tour business and whatever else are. And there's this trail over here that I like to take, and it leads into the forest and it climbs up a hill, and you can see just how close we are to Yellowstone National Park. This is what I started seeing. I started seeing grizzly bear tracks on my bike rides. I started seeing grizzly bear tracks. I started seeing grizzly bear poop, which is pretty recognizable. Look at the size of that bear print. So I started taking bear spray with me when I went out on my bike ride. Look at this picture over here. Look at where Old Faithful Inn is. And then I happened to come across let me show you this. This is one of the country stations, 95.5 my country. This is the most unbelievable video. Can you see that? There is a grizzly bear walking across the Firehole River and walking up the trail. And you may ask, where's this? Well, this is the Midway Geyser Basin, where you see all that steam on the right. That's the Firehole River again, but where you see all that steam on the right. I don't blame this person for dropping her camera over. But that is the Midway Geyser Basin, and that trail actually leads you to Grand Prismatic Spring, which is one of the most iconic sites in all of Yellowstone National Park. So I never used to take bear spray to these built-up areas, but then I started reconsidering my position. Look at this as well. This is USA Today. There was a hiker who was really, really close to Old Faithful who was injured by a grizzly bear out on the trail. And remember, here's those grizzlies at Old Faithful Inn. Then Fairy Falls. Those of you who've watched various of my virtual Yellowstone tours and listened to these Yellowstone podcasts will know that I recommend the Fairy Falls Trail. And a woman was hiking there last year, which was 2020. She was attacked by a grizzly on the trail, and there's so many people on that trail. So I have rethought my position. Number one, if you are going to be going into the backcountry, obviously take bear spray with you. You have to have bear spray with you. There's various other precautions, and you can see those precautions at our site, YellowstoneBearSprayRentals.com. That's YellowstoneBearSprayRentals.com. In fact, if you just go to ysbearspray.com, it'll forward you to this site. So we know that people have been injured on front country hikes like Fairy Falls. So my suggestion to you is, if you're going to be doing any hiking, even if it's in the front country, and the difference between the front country and the back country is that the front country are areas where help can be obtained more close by, where you're not that far away from a road, you're not that far away from where you've left your car. That's what we call the front country. The back country is a much more desolate and far away area. So if you're in the front country, yes, I would recommend that you take bear spray with you. Now, what about if you're hiking at Old Faithful, or what if you're in the Midway Geyser Basin and all of a sudden you come across a grizzly bear? Well, you could be like many of those people who don't like to carry a firearm, for example, because you know that in the US, particularly in the western states, just about everybody around you who's from the US, there's a decent chance that one or many people are going to be carrying a firearm with you, so you don't carry your own bear spray, you rely on somebody else. But looking at recent developments, perhaps it's a good idea to take bear spray with you. And I'm going to get on to where you can get the bear spray shortly. The thing is that you never know when you're going to come across a grizzly bear in the greater Yellowstone ecosystem. Just like I came across these grizzly bear tracks, and I actually came across a bear when I was out cycling, and you can find my video of that in our virtual Yellowstone tour channel. The thing is, do you want to go to the hassle now of bringing bear spray with you when you come to Yellowstone National Park? If you're going to be flying to Yellowstone, you'll find that you're not going to be allowed to take bear spray with you. If you're going to be driving, then it's not a problem. Go to Amazon, go to Walmart, and I generally prefer to buy our bear spray, which you can see at our rental site at Walmart. But make sure that the bear spray is what is called EPA approved. That's Echo Papa Alpha, EPA approved. That's likely to be the most reliable bear spray that you can buy. If you arrive in our area, whether that's arrive in West Yellowstone or Cody or Gardner or one of the other gateway cities, yes, you can buy it. You'll find that it's very freely available. but it's also expensive. You're going to be generally paying in between $49 and $69 for a bottle of bear spray. If you can get it before you come, as I say, you'll find specials online, $39 for 2 cans of bear spray at times, or $39 a can, or $45 a can. Or alternatively, consider renting bear spray from us. Our bear spray is EPA approved. We have 2 sizes, the 13 ounce or 369 gram, or the 9 ounce or 255 gram. You've just got to decide what is going to be more cost effective for you. For example, if you only need it for 1 day, it's $12. If you need it for 2 days, it's $20 total for the 2 days for that size, or more cheaply, $18 for 2 days for the smaller size. And when you get to 5 days of rental, then perhaps you should consider, do you want to buy the bear spray before you get to our area, buy it for $39 at Walmart or Amazon? Once you get to more than 5 days, it's going to be cheaper, definitely. What I also suggest you do is take a look at this video that we have on our site. This is a National Park Service video on how to use bear spray. Take a look at it. There is no point in going out into the back country or the front country, or even just walking around Yellowstone carrying bear spray if you do not know how to use it. So have a look at that video. Also go to our link, how to use bear spray. And we do provide various tips which are actually provided by the National Park Service on how to use bear spray, also what you should do when you're hiking in bear country. When I'm out mountain biking, I generally take the safety. You'll see there's a safety on bear spray canisters. I generally take the safety off and always have the bear spray somewhere which is really easily accessible. You'll find that we do rent holsters as well. So don't keep the bear spray somewhere that you have to dig in your backpack or in your pocket or in your coat. Have it in the holster, have it somewhere that is readily accessible. Bear spray is really, really strong. How do I know? Well, I was out riding my mountain bike one day in that area that I told you about, and I was coming down this hill here way too quickly, and I had the safety off my canister of bear spray. I crashed, which wasn't that unusual, and the bear spray somehow or other hit something. It went off. Fortunately, it only hit me in the one eye. Well, I must tell you, I was useless for about 45 minutes. Now, my friends may tell you that I'm pretty much useless most of the time, but leaving that aside, honestly, I just couldn't see out of that eye. It was watering. It inhibited my ability to want to do anything. And luckily, it only went in the one eye. And I could feel the after effects for days. So be careful with it. Bear spray is really strong. Make sure, once again, that you do watch the video on how to use the bear spray effectively. It's no use carrying it with you if you don't know how to use it. And then go to YellowstoneBearSprayRentals.com. That's YellowstoneBearSprayRentals.com, and consider renting it there. Now, we're not the only ones who rent bear spray. If you're staying inside Yellowstone, you'll find that I'm pretty sure that there's a location at Canyon Village, and Canyon Village is right next to Grand Canyon of the Yellowstone. I'm pretty sure there's a location there that rents it. If you rent it from us, we will deliver it to you. We do own Yellowstone Taxi, and we'll deliver it to you as well for a small extra charge. Guys, thank you for listening to today's Yellowstone podcast. If you do have any queries, questions, or comments, please feel free to note them in the comments section below this video. Otherwise, go online, book your bear spray at ysbearspray.com or YellowstoneBearSprayRentals.com, or buy it before you get to our area if you're not going to be traveling to the Yellowstone area on a plane. Thank you so much for joining me on another one of these Yellowstone podcasts, and I hope you make it to Yellowstone one day.